Hello, everybody. Welcome to Roll and Move Live. It's my favorite part of the weekend. Game of Thrones is on now. I'll DVR that and we'll watch later. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us. We're joined, as always, by our good friend. You know him from Board Game Blender. He is the retro gamer. Asdruval, welcome.
Hello, Kirk. Living the dream today. Only 2 more days until I leave for Gen Con. Very
Awesome.
excited about that.
Ready to go?
I'm ready. I've been ready last week.
Fantastic. Joining us today also our very special guest. You know him from his segment on Throat Punch Lunch, 15 Pieces of Flair. Also his YouTube channel, Pique Your Interest. Please welcome our guest tonight, Jay Peak. Jay, how are you today?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's start out, Jay. We'll get right into it. You're a first-time guest, so usually what we do is we'll just get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the hobby, and what kind you got you to be a content creator and considered an expert, so to speak, in your area of your subdomain of the hobby.
Well, I guess I could go way back to probably when I was a kid. We would always just play games as a family, like most people playing, Monopoly, whatever. And
Sure.
What really stuck with our family, what we seemed to play maybe through our teen years and stuff, was Pictionary. And that might have been what kind of started sparking my creative interest in board games anyways, because, I don't know, Pictionary is like you got to think fast and draw whatever. Everybody knows Pictionary.
Sure.
But throughout also my teenage years, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering. Heavily competitive. I was doing national tournaments and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
And that was pretty fun, but I don't know, I kind of burnt out on that in my early 20s. And D&D has always been part of my friends group and everything, so we were always interested in, Dungeons and Dragons. But then, I don't know, I'd say a couple years ago, somebody pointed out to me the game of Dead of Winter. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that one or not, but
Absolutely.
Just kidding. But yeah, they told me about Dead of Winter because I would always talk to him about D&D and everything, and I was like, I've never heard of this, so I instantly bought it because it sounded so intriguing, and it has been such a rabbit hole since then. Spending money and playing games ever since.
So Jay, what you're saying is that you just barely came back into the hobby with the Dead of Winter release. That's only a couple years back then.
Yeah. I haven't been into the hobby board game world really, unless you count Magic the Gathering, except for the past couple years.
Oh, wow. Now,
So when you say I'm an expert, I laugh at that. I don't even want that title.
Your board game group, does it consist mostly of the guys or the people that you're playing D&D with?
Oh yeah, D&D, Magic, everything from when I was an adolescent to now we're almost all in our 30s.
So you've been playing consistently with the same group?
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
For going on a couple decades now.
That's not an easy feat with once real life starts kicking in. I know from personal experience, once jobs and spouses and kids come into the equation, it's hard to keep a group together. So that's awesome. You still get to play with all those same folks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thankful for it. Sometimes I take it for granted, but it's something that not many people have.
Absolutely. Now, what about your the focus of your segments on Throw Punch Lunch? You're kind of like your creative. You do a lot of woodworking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been doing that, and how did you decide to incorporate that into the hobby?
Well, my mom and my dad have both always done not flipping houses, but like a lot of home improvement type stuff and working with other people, and they've always taught me everything they've known, and especially my mom. My mom is so creative. She can do anything she wants as long as she's got a picture in front of her. And I don't know, they just kind of passed that kind of stuff down to me, and how I ended up starting creating content was Sam Healy had a giveaway for a game divider for Star Wars Rebellion, which happens to be like one of my top like 5, maybe top 3 favorite games. And the contest was give us some new segments we could have on Throat Punch Lunch. Well, I emailed him. I pitched him my idea, and I said I'd love to do this. So from there, that was like maybe 6 or so months ago, and just been making videos since.
Awesome.
Now, Jay, the title of your show, can you let people in on that? Because I didn't quite get it until after I thought about it for a second.
Oh, yeah. One thing I'm pretty good at is pulling up a good movie line or a pun or whatever, but the 15 Pieces of Flairs from Office Space, the movie, it's just like, what is it? Is it Shenanigans? I forget. No, Tchotchkes. They were at this restaurant, Tchotchkes, and they required their it was Jennifer Aniston's character. She was required to wear at least 15 pieces of flair, which was like buttons or pictures or whatever on her uniform. And that's where he was like talking to her like, now, do you want to do the bare minimum? And she's like, is it 15? Yeah, well, some people choose to do more, and we encourage that. And I don't know, I try to say that every time I make a video. One time I made a video, I didn't say that, and somebody got on my case about it. And I don't know. Yeah, a good movie line. I can pull a good movie line out here and there, and sometimes they're obscure, but at least I get them.
Yeah, that's all right. I know how you feel. I really get frustrated when nobody gets my movie quotes.
Yeah.
Or they take it out of context and get offended. That's the worst part. It's like, you don't understand what that's from? I see you make some really awesome stuff. I was watching the other day. You made your pandemic video where you made the pandemic files.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you?
Yeah, that one's one of my more popular ones. It seems like
that was a pretty cool segment there and a pretty cool project. Now that just made me think.
Thank you.
Do you get a lot of people, who watch that? Your people you play games with, maybe family members. Do you get a lot of calls like, "Hey, will you make me one of those?" Or "What will you make me this?" Do you get like a lot of orders of, "Hey, I really like this game. Will you make me this from that game?"
No, not really. The only thing somebody's asked me for so far is some stencils. I've gave people stencils before, and other than that, I've just got positive feedback, and I haven't sold anything. I haven't. I've done the giveaways, but other than that, my pieces haven't. Nobody's asked to buy anything or asked me to make them anything or nothing like that.
I just assume that you see people like, oh man, I really want one of those, and they'd be looking for some freebies.
Yeah. I'm sure people would take them if I gave them to them, but
absolutely.
I don't know.
Very cool, very cool. Now, what about the some of your stuff is more not so much decorative. Like I saw you had segments about building shelves and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into this a little later as well. But the game room you play in now, the area you have, is that mostly made up both decorative and practical? Is that made up of materials that you've made?
I could probably turn my camera around here, but I have a couple custom shelves in here and like a small Kallax type shelf, but mostly everything in here is, I got a couple windows. I don't know, but mostly I got a couple custom shelves. Other than that, it's the one Kallax shelf I have.
Okay, very cool. Cool.
Is that room just strictly for gaming, or does it serve other purposes?
I game down here. I have my computer down here to do my video editing and stuff. I got a recliner down here to take a nap, but pretty much just come down here to play games and make videos.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you've created a really cool space for yourself. We'll move on here. And like I said, we'll get back to that topic in a minute. That's going to be our main topic, is discussing ideas for how to improve your own game room. But in the meantime, what are some games right now, Jay, that you've been playing that really, captured your attention?
Well, last night I drove up to my sister's house in Detroit, and we busted out Betrayal at House on the Hill, which I know that game doesn't get a lot of love, but I don't know why, but for whatever reason for our group, it's just a big hit. And we played with the new expansion, Widow's Walk, and the up this time was like everybody aged by like 10 or 20 years every round. So it was like everybody's character that started off that was supposed to be some little kid ended up being like 120-year-old like geezer that can barely even walk around the house. And then the person trying to kill him's just loving every second of it because they're staying at like 20 years old and just murdering these older people.
That's awesome.
But
no,
we always seem to have a good time. I don't know if it's because... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I don't know if it's like just the group we play with or whatever that the game is such a big hit because we like to role play the stuff that we do. I don't know if that's why the game gets so much better or that's why people have a hard time getting into it or whatever. But when people are like acting like their little 10-year-old kid is now 100 and I don't know, it's just that might be why it's such a good game for our group.
Yeah, that game is definitely dependent. I have a group, probably 2 or 3 people, and that's when we get together. That's one of the main ones everybody wants to pull out. So, and like you said, yeah, it's more. You got to focus more on the experience of that game than really worry about seriously winning or losing. If you could just take it as
trying to win.
Yeah, like you said, more like almost like a role playing experience. It's a lot more enjoyable. Yeah, I really like that one. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Ezra, how about you? What have you been playing lately? I'm sorry, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay, if you're not done.
No, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. Well, go ahead. You go ahead. We'll get all your games first.
Oh, I was just gonna. Okay. Sure. I just got done playing. My buddy from that was a friend of mine growing up came over. We played a game called DC Deck Builder with the Forever Evil expansion. I know I'm probably bringing out games from years ago, but I don't mind. I still love these games, but
right there.
I like the game. Yeah, I like the game, and he wanted to play it and everything. I like the game and everything, but that game just takes so dang long sometimes that I'm just like, can we just, you win. Yeah. You win. I don't want to play this anymore, but he seemed to have such a good time playing it, and that's all that really matters to me, but I could have done that in like hour and a half less, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been a go-to filler was a go-to filler for my group for a long time. But I think like the expansions like Forever Evil just got a little too like you said, just took too long. You had to focus too much on the abilities and the powers and just a lot of weird things. So I like the base game a lot more than I like those big expansions.
There's a lot of cards in there that it's like, why? Like, this doesn't help me at all, but I can't buy anything else because everything in the lineup sucks.
Yeah. You can get bogged down. The more of those expansions you incorporate, the game gets bogged down a lot more. I think it's I play Forever Evil by itself. I don't combine it with the other. The same with the Teen Titans expansion. I don't combine it with anything else, and even that by itself takes a really long time. I think. Have you played the Teen Titans version?
No, I've played Crisis 1, the base game, and the Forever Evil. Okay.
Yeah, because Titans takes even longer than Forever Evil does. And it just drags out. I couldn't imagine, because like you said, there's so few cards. Once you get the new powers get so specialized that you need something very specific to make your character work. So, I agree with you. It takes way too long.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had the Flash, and I had Harley Quinn, and he was, like, using his special ability, like, every single turn, and I was like, can I just use mine once throughout this game?
Yeah. I feel your pain. Are there any other games you've been playing lately?
Yeah, I got 2 more I want to talk about. I played Spyfall for the first time, and I just want to touch on that one real quick. That one was awesome. That experience for that. I love, like, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. The Resistance. I love those games, but this Spyfall game, I thought it was kind of refreshingly different, and I don't know, the mechanics for that one where you got to ask questions and people got to answer them. It almost seems like no matter what people answer to your question, it's like, that's like such a vague answer. Are you the spy or not? I don't know. That one was pretty exciting with us.
Mm-hmm. Asdruval, have you played that one?
I have not. I know a lot of people have been raving about it, but I haven't had a chance to play it for whatever reason.
I played it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I enjoyed it. It's very different. It takes a while to get used to, and I was a spy a couple times. And when you're the spy, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to try to deflect it, because you have, especially if you have to answer, or if you have to ask or answer questions early, and you really haven't gathered that much information yet. It's there's a lot of pressure there. It was a fun game. I liked it.
Yeah. And real quick, I just want to touch on Ticket to Ride. Okay.
Okay.
Why does nobody ever say that game is a press your luck game? You know what I mean? Because you are just drawing cards, and nobody ever seems to say it's press your luck. Like, you are pressing your luck on when you want to play those cards. So, okay, so people need to say in that game is press your luck. And that's all I have to say about that.
I'm just going to add on to a little bit more to that, is that some people can't stand Ticket to Ride, but I believe it or not, I've gotten a lot of people hooked on board gaming because of that game.
And then they found all the other games that are a lot better, and you moved on and never played Ticket to Ride again, right?
I still whip it out every once in a while.
All right, I won't dump on Ticket to Ride too much. It's good for what it is. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
I grunt when people bring that one out, but I'll still play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to help, if it's something that's going to help somebody get interested and find some, find other games that they enjoy, then I'll play it. But when I'm with like a group of like experienced gamers, and there's 200 games on the shelf, and they're like, "Hey, let's play Ticket to Ride." I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
But thanks, Jay. Asdruval, how about you? What's on your gaming docket lately?
Oh man, I have still been playing the crap out of Champions of Midgard with 2 expansions. And I just play with both of them together. Some people say, "Oh no, just play with one or the other." No, just mix it up, man. It's great. It's brought it's just brought that game back to life for me. So I've been playing that, and Raxon. I've been playing Raxon too. I still haven't been able to win. I can only win on the introductory mode. I can't get past. It's a little bit. That game's hard, I think. Still haven't been able to win it past the introductory mode. And last night I pulled out, dusted off Lords of Vegas last night, which I'm going to play again tonight here after we're done. So my steps, I showed my stepson, and he's all like, "Oh, this is kind of like Monopoly." Oh yeah, it was better than Monopoly, But yeah, so I'm going to whip that game out after we're done here again. So
cool.
That's all that's been on my play, or that's all that I've been playing.
Cool. Yeah, for me, so far, July was a really busy gaming month. I got to do a lot of gaming in July. August, so far, not so much. I've kind of, other stuff, real life going on, so I haven't been able to play as much. A couple of things I got to the table. Finally got to play Delve, which I picked up at Origins. And I don't know if you guys have played this yet or if you've seen it yet. Basically, it's Carcassonne with a D&D theme. You're laying tiles instead of building, farms and villages and roads. You're building your dungeon, and as you go through, you're trying to collect treasure. And everybody plays a different race, basically, or a different group. And you're going through trying to collect everything. Once a dungeon is a section of the dungeon is complete, if you have other people in the room with you, you fight each other for the spoils. But if you're alone, you draw an event card, and you basically fight something in the dungeon, a monster, some kind of creature, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It adds a lot. I mean, this is going to kill. Well, it won't kill Carcassonne for me, because I think I still have players who like the simplicity of Carcassonne more. But for me personally, I don't need Carcassonne anymore, just because this adds such a layer of story and complexity, and it's really cool. The cards almost tell a story. Like, you have reoccurring characters. There's like this one, I think he's a Goblin King or something, who keeps showing up in different cards and does different things. So he's running through the dungeon trying to keep you from getting all the stuff you want. And just a really interesting take on that, fairly simple tile landing mechanic. And like I said, adding a story element to it. So that was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed playing that. And another game that I got to the table, some friends of mine got to the table that I kind of had a negative experience with. First time I got to play New Angeles from Fantasy Flight. Have either of you guys ever played this?
I've heard about it. I've seen it at my local gaming store, but it didn't really pique my interest too much.
Yeah, it's a game that one of the guys has been coming. I've got a Thursday night group I've been meeting with lately, and one of the guys there brings this every week, and is kind of hinting to get to the table. So we played it this week, and basically what it is, takes place in the Android universe. That dystopian future, and you're all different corporations trying to take control of this city, and the board is a map with different sections of the city on it, and all these bad things are coming in, and you kind of have to measure, decide how you want to handle it, because all the bad things prevent the city's sections from producing, whatever their goods are, and you need those as a group to hit certain levels every turn of production, or you fail as a group. But you also want to make your own, score your points and do what's best for you. And I just was really not a fan of the game, and what ticked me, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I think it's a flawed design flaw I see in games a lot, and I hate. Each character everybody has variable powers. You play a different corporation, has different abilities. You draw different cards, and everybody's pretty one-dimensional. Basically, each corporation specializes in solving one of the problems that comes onto the board. So, one person might be focused on civil unrest. One person might be focused on disease. One person might be focused on power outages. And so, your character abilities focus on that. The card you draw focus on that. And the game I was playing, the problem that my corporation focused on wasn't a problem in the game. It's kind of random based on event cards and stuff. What really breaks out on the board and what you have to take care of. And my problem was never an issue. My specialty was never an issue on the board. So I kind of just sat there, and I've never played a game like this where I was not able to get a foothold in anything because I had no leverage, because nobody needed what I had. So I literally, after about 3 rounds, I had my phone out, and I hate doing this, but I was so bored because I literally had nothing to do, and it just was a real lot of time. Because and to be honest, the mechanics of the game, even if I was doing well and if I was engaged, it didn't feel like something that would really suck me in and be like, oh man, I really want to see what happens next. But as it was, I just had nothing to do. My turn came, and just bad things happened to me. Like someone would get a card, said, "Hey, steal card from somebody." Someone would steal my card or whatever. So I just, basically, I had my head down. It was like, "Okay, Kirk, I'm taking your cards. Like, here, just take it." And I was completely, and that never happens to me. I try to stay engaged, but I was completely disengaged from this game. And then the thing that really bummed me out when it was over, the guy who owned the game, who taught it to us, was like, "Yeah, that usually happens about once a game. there'll be a player who's really not involved because the thing they control doesn't need to be taken care of." And I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "That's terrible design. How can you make a game where you have one player out of it the whole time?" So maybe if it's a game where if I played it 10, 15 times, I'd get the hang of it, and I'd learn to overcome those problems that I was having, but it just wasn't worth it. I really give that game a big thumbs down. Usually I try not to trash games in this segment, but that was a really bad game that I need to talk
about. That made me mad just hearing that.
Yeah. Was it set in the Netrunner universe, you think?
Yeah, is that Android Netrunner? Is Android's the whole right. Franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's in the same. And I like Netrunner. I always liked Netrunner. That was a good game. But this one just really fell flat.
Wow, sorry for that.
Yeah. And other than that, like I said,
games
I haven't
not to get.
Yeah. Add that to the list. Definitely add that to. Well, yeah. Might be something up your alley. I don't know. But like I said, to me, that was just a huge design flaw. Other than that, like I said, I haven't been able to play too much. Got to play a couple more games of King Domino. Some people in my family really enjoy that. That's a nice, quick tile laying game. We kind of paired that up with Adele for a tile laying night, which was a lot of fun. I'm finding that's a mechanic that I really enjoy. So I'm looking for a lot of games like that. But that's what we've been playing, and now we can move on, talk about our main subject for the night, because Jay, you're here, and we always try to format the show around our guests and what their specialties. talk about, fixing up your game room. You can see my game room every week is pretty sloppy. I don't have a lot going on here. So just talk about, either somebody who has a space who wants to create a space, or has a space that they want to improve or get a little more creative with. I guess let's start from the beginning. If I'm starting from scratch, I have a table, I have chairs, I have blank walls, I have my shelves. What do you think's the first step? Where do you think where do I go from there? Where should I begin in my quest to really make it a special area for playing games?
Yeah, I mean, where you should start is get what games are your favorite, and find a piece out of that game that you like, or find a theme out of the game that you think you can build off of, and just try to make your own stuff. Even if it looks like junk, you made it. You put the effort into making that. And there's stuff you can take pride in that. Even if it looks like crap, which trust me, I've made plenty of crap. You can take pride in your crap. And then your crap starts to become nice stuff, and you have stuff that you can really be proud of. But attempt to make the crap first, and don't be afraid to do it. That's all I have is like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is there a, I don't know, maybe a material or a style for somebody who's a beginner, maybe who like, I'll use myself. I watch your videos, I see all the woodwork, and I mean, you might as well be doing, advanced nuclear physics as far as I'm concerned. Is there maybe like a starting off point, like something simple, maybe either a material, a medium, a game theme that you would say, okay, here's where you can take baby steps and get started and just kind of build up that confidence to creating your own material?
Yeah, sure. I would suggest everybody try painting minis. All of the games have them. Just try to paint them. It's super easy. You can watch Robert Oren's YouTube channel. He does an amazing job trying to teach that. I thought about starting one, but you know what? I'd rather just send people to Robert Oren's channel. He does an awesome job just teaching how to paint minis. But try to paint your minis. And then your big minis, like the Blood Rage minis, or that big guy that comes in the Magic the Gathering Duel of the Planeswalkers game, whatever. There's like a big Eldrazi or whatever. Paint him and then put him on your shelf. And that's where I would start if you're nervous about that. And photography, just get your camera, take close-up shots, and print out some like large 8x11 prints and frame them and hang them on your wall. But those things, I think painting minis and taking pictures, anybody could do.
Good ideas. What about, I'm sorry, Ezra, do you have a question?
No. I was just gonna reply to the painting the minis. I've delved into painting minis a couple times throughout my years, and I said I'm gonna paint some minis, and I just can't get the detail work. Besides me being blind, I can't get up close to really do it that great. But I have delved with painting minis, and it's something that just comes up every couple of years. Says, oh, I'm going to paint this. But for most part, most of my games are just sitting there unpainted.
Yeah. Likewise.
Me too. I have a buddy who's kind of he dabbles in painting. He's actually pretty good at it. He has some on display at some local game stores. But I feel bad. Like, I say, hey, here's my game, paint everything. And there are certain games like what's the Flying Frog game where you have to put the minis together?
Shadows of Brimstone.
Shadows of Brimstone. He was our go-to guy to here put these together at least, because none of us even knew how to really do that well. But yeah, that's something where I haven't even attempted it yet, because I just feel like I'd have here's a mini and he's red because I just took the brush and went like that. I see that detail level detail. I got these big dopey giant hands, and I just don't think I can get that level of detail. But I mean, it's definitely a good idea if that's something you have the talent for. Definitely trying out. What are some good?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some good themes or game mechanics that you think make for good subject matter in this kind of artwork?
Let's see. Well, the best theme I could think of is that game Evolution. How they have that big giant Brontosaurus on the front of the box, and it's so colorful. And I'm getting kind of back to painting minis here, but you could go to the Goodwill store and probably get like just a giant, like a Brontosaurus or some sort of dinosaur, and you could paint it, and it could look like garbage or whatever. It would look so sloppy, but it would still match up to that theme because it's just colors splotted onto a dinosaur, and I think that definitely anybody could do that. Absolutely.
Asdruval, what about you?
Or you could do medieval.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at this, aren't
I? That's all right. Asdruval, what about you and your, are there any game themes or artwork or mechanics that you look at and say, that's something I'd really like to take and find a way to get up on the shelf?
I do. Some of my more favorite games are like Old West themed games. And, you know, me being, I don't know if this matters, but me being Hispanic is like, what do you like the Old West for? People are scoffing now, but yeah, I do like the Old West theme. And I've been thinking, well, first of all, I don't have a place. I don't have like an official game room. I mean, my game room is my kitchen table, for crying out loud, you know. I'm not luckily like you guys, where you guys got basements and you guys got these awesome rooms, but maybe someday.
You know, I was thinking, just, you know, you were talking about photography, Jay, and maybe it'd be kind of cool. As you're saying that, made me think, you know, maybe taking pictures of the people you play games with, you know, especially if you have an eye for photography and you can capture those moments, you know, where people are just laughing, having a good time, and get that up on the wall and incorporate that into the game as well. You know, the actual people you're playing with. That might be good. I mean, I'm seriously thinking about doing that now, just as you brought that up. That's a really good idea.
Oh yeah. Or you guys could dress up and then like I'm getting into some depth stuff here, but on like Photoshop, superimpose yourself into like old photos, but then you guys have like games being played in the old photos with the same garb that they're wearing.
That'd be cool. No, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm sorry, Jay, I interrupted you earlier. It sounded like you had some other ideas.
Probably did, but I don't remember.
we got to catch them right when they're coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any projects you're working on now, Jay?
Oh man, I have a list. I have a lot of stuff in my head, and a lot of. I got a episode of coming out next week. That's I made a potion from One Deck Dungeon, so you guys can check that out next week. And that one is on my zombie flair. It was literally just finger painting, but this potion one might be even easier than that.
Good, I like easy.
Yeah.
You ever watch Artsy Robot on Board Game Blender?
Artsy Robot? No, I watch Board Game Blender frequently, but that doesn't come to my.
Or is she on?
That doesn't come to my.
No. She's on Blender, but she hasn't been on for a couple of months. You got to go back to some earlier episodes.
Is she the one or I don't remember. I remember somebody making food to the themes and stuff.
Yeah, she does food. She does crafts.
Yeah, she does food, crafts.
Okay.
Mainly, I thought that mainly she did food more than crafts, but it was kind of 50-50. But yeah, she's. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kirk.
I was gonna say the only reason I asked is because I'm thinking you guys, because you're more like installation art, where she's more stuff on the table, and I think just taking ideas for both of you, you have a pretty cool complete set in your game room with a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in culinary management too, so we could probably cook up some nice stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of good stuff you guys can come up with. Awesome. Well, is there anything else before we move on? Is there anything else you wanted to suggest? Any other ideas? Any other like I said, projects you have coming up that you want to talk about?
Let's check out what I can. Let's see what I got on my list. I'll just give you guys some suggestions on easy stuff you can do. Go on Amazon, buy 100 meeples, and put them in a vase. How easy is that?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. I see you have a huge die behind you there, Kirk.
Yeah.
That black and white die.
Yeah, that one right there.
You could cut out some custom vinyl, and for custom dice in any game, like my gosh, I'm losing my memory. What's the one with the superheroes with all of them have custom dice?
No, I'm losing my.
Dice Masters.
Yeah.
Dice Masters. Yeah. Thanks, Asdruval. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, you could spray paint that for your favorite Dice Masters character. Cut out some custom vinyl, and you have yourself your own unique large Dice Master die.
Look at that.
Let's see.
Kirk, right off the fly, he's spouting out ideas.
That's fantastic.
Let's see. On Amazon, you can buy Ninja Star coat hangers, and they just go right in your wall, and you got Ninja Star coat hangers. How amazing is that? Let's see. Asdruval, you like Western themes? Get yourself a cowboy hat, a 10-gallon hat, star coat hanger, and boom, you're mixing. You're basically playing Smash Up.
Smash Up. There you go.
Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about your old expansion boxes.
Okay.
Don't throw them away. Don't throw them away. Cut them up. Just make disposable coasters out of them. And friends come over and they're using your what you were gonna throw away in the trash, or what most I would throw away in the trash. But cut your old expansion boxes up and use them as coasters. Or you can go to Goodwill, buy a clock. Remove the old clock face, put your expansion box onto that clock, and now you have a repurposed clock, and it looks like what you would get from your game box. So don't throw those things away. At least use them as a coaster.
Well, you know what, Jay? I am going to try that because I have my Champions of Midgard box.
I was going to do the same thing.
I got the new box that fits everything in it. So I'm going to use my old box and maybe get a clock or something.
There you go.
I like that idea. My son's going to be mad because I always give him my expansion boxes to keep like his toys and stuff in. So now I'm going to steal all those back. I'll go in his room and dump them out tonight while he's sleeping. I got some coasters to make, son. Sorry.
No, hey, Asdruval.
Yes.
What do you think about that chicken in that game? That giant chicken thing in Champions of Midgard?
Oh my gosh! The first time I played that game with the expansions, and I saw the chicken, and I didn't think nothing of it. But somebody bought the chicken and won the game. That is an amazing card.
I love that card. Yeah, it's so overpowered.
I know.
I got to make something for that.
I'm sitting here thinking. I took King of New York. I took King of New York and King of Tokyo and put them all in one box. So now I have this empty. I have some junk
that would be
in here.
Awesome.
But it's I could do a lot with that. Like you said, make a clock of that or something. That's a great idea. I'm going to do that. Next time you watch a show, you might see this up on the wall somewhere. With something on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll credit you with that, Jay. That's awesome. That's a good idea.
Clock, dice tray, anything.
But like you said, it's going to be up there, and it's going to look so bad. It's going to be like a child made it. It's like, oh, did your kid do that, Kirk? Yeah, it was my kid.
Hey.
That was my.
Take pride in your junk, okay? Take pride in your crap.
Like, yeah, your kid made that. Your kid have something wrong with him? Because that's what looks really bad, even for an 8-year-old. No, that's some great ideas, and I really appreciate that. And because I'm looking for, especially with this, using this as the backdrop of the show, always looking for ideas to spice this up a little bit. So yeah, some great ideas. I'm just looking at a lot of these. One of these two's empty. I got a lot of empty boxes sitting there. I just have sitting here for show, basically. So yeah, I'm going to put those to work. Thank you, Jay.
No problem.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, now that we've talked about our main subject matter for the night, it is time to move on to Stump the Chump. Asdruval's back from, Jay, I don't know if you've been watching for the past few episodes. Asdruval hit a few bumps there, but he's been back on fire for the past couple of shows. So you have your work cut out for you. But I know you were earlier. You were pulling out some kind of obscure, some obscure movie knowledge, some movie quotes. So I think you might be up to the challenge. So here's the way it works. Earlier, I sent you guys both a list of all the possible categories. You guys have both those. You have those in front of you.
Yep.
Okay. You'll both get an opportunity to veto one of the categories. You can take one category and pick it, and it's out of the game. So Jay, you get to pick first. Which category would you like to veto?
Yeah, you can get rid of detective novels.
Detective novels. I think it's the second time in a row that's been vetoed. Asdruval, what would you like to take out?
Let's take out Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. All right. Let me find that here. Comic-Con is out. Okay, now Jay, we'll take turns going back and forth, and we'll pick a total of 10. You'll both pick 5. What would be your first choice? What category would you like to go with first?
Of course, it's going to be 90s pop music.
90s pop music.
I am already scared. He sounds very confident.
Asdruval, what's your first pick?
Let's go with Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, all right. 2 musical categories. Jay, your next pick?
Songs, of course. Got to stay on theme.
I'm sorry, what was it? What was your pick?
Song lyrics.
Oh, song lyrics, okay.
Yep.
All right. Asdruval, your next pick.
Toys and games.
Toys and games. And then your next pick, Jay.
Sequels and prequels.
All right. Asdruval.
This week in pop culture.
Okay, this week in pop culture history. Jay, yours?
Tarantino movies.
My man.
This guy Jay sounds confident in everything he's saying.
He's picking a lot of categories that I would have asked the questions for, so I'm excited. All right, Asdruval, you're next.
Let's go with reality TV.
Reality TV. And Jay, your last pick.
TV commercials, please.
TV commercials. All right, and Asdruval, final pick?
Final pick, voice actors.
Voice actors. All right.
Oh, man.
Eric Summer. Okay.
Okay, let me...
okay.
While I'm pulling these out, Asdruval, tell us a little bit about your last-minute plans for Gen Con. How they coming along?
Well, I haven't even started to pack yet. I want to pack very light so I can bring home a bunch of stuff, but my budget is very limited.
Okay. Are you taking games to play?
I am not taking games to play, no.
Okay.
I'm going to be they just shot me the schedule for the booth, and I'm going to be pretty busy the entire 4 days. So
do they have
what?
Do you guys have stuff scheduled like after hours? You guys doing like any kind of
the Dice Towers, they're doing stuff after hours, and they're going to be going to like expensive restaurants and stuff. But I'm saying, man, I can only afford McDonald's around here. They're all saying, "Oh, we got to go to this restaurant. Oh, we got to go to this restaurant." No, oh, we got to go to McDonald's, man.
Tom's not giving you a per diem?
No.
got to negotiate that contract, buddy.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're working the restoration booth, right?
Restoration Games booth. That is correct.
Awesome. And you guys got my big announcement coming up. I'm holding out hope that you'll get me what I need there, pal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm looking for.
I know what you're looking for, and you and about 1,000 other people.
Well, let's make it happen.
Okay, I'm trying, man.
Can they reprint Hero Quest or not? Is that a thing?
has been talked about, but the problem is that they need to find out who actually owns the rights, who designed it.
Right.
Some of these guys have already been passed away already, so it's there's a lot of legal
Right.
things involved in trying to get a
Yeah.
game restored. But slowly but surely, they're muddling through all the requests.
Awesome. All right, boys, I am ready to start whenever you are. So, Asdruval, I will ask you now to enter the Roll and Move Live booth of silence.
Okay, I am out.
All right, Asdruval is in a complete soundproof booth. He cannot hear us. Okay, let me get my timer ready, Jay. I believe you've seen how the game works. I will ask you these 10 questions. You will be timed. Time is for tiebreaker purposes only. If you want to pass, if you're not sure.
You got the timer ready?
I got the timer ready. No problem with that this week.
All right.
I will. I'll start the timer from the first question, and if you want to pass, you could say pass, and we'll come back to it. If you don't know, just say you don't know it, and we'll count that as a wrong answer. But are you ready to begin?
Let's do it.
Okay, first question, 90s pop music. Justin Timberlake was a member of what 90s boy band before embarking on his solo career?
NSYNC.
Correct. Guns N' Roses. Who was the lead guitarist for Guns N' Roses?
Axl Rose?
Incorrect. Song lyrics. In the Simon & Garfunkel song America, in which city do they board the Greyhound?
Pass.
All right. Toys and games. In what country did Lego originate?
I just watched the documentary on this. Pass.
Okay. Sequels and prequels. Who played Clarice Starling in Hannibal?
Pass.
Okay. This week in pop culture history. August 13th, 2017 marks the one-year anniversary of the passing of which Star Wars actor?
Can you repeat that, please?
August 13th, 2017 marks the one-year anniversary of the passing of which Star Wars actor?
My gosh. I was so confident coming into this. It was Princess Leia, but what was her name? I think it was her. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm such a loser. Pass. I'll come back to that one.
All right, okay. Tarantino movies.
Okay, here we go.
In Inglourious Bastards, what name is Sergeant Donnie Donowitz better known as?
Bear Jew.
Correct. Reality TV. Which real-world star went on to become a WWE champion?
You said a real-world star?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Did you answer?
Okay. CM Punk.
Incorrect. TV commercials. What candy is advertised in a series of celebrity-filled commercials with the tagline, "You're not you when you're hungry"?
Snickers.
Correct. Voice actors. Which emoji does Patrick Stewart voice in the Emoji Movie?
Happy face.
Incorrect. Okay, going back to the ones you passed on.
Close, though.
Yeah. Song lyrics.
Right.
In the Simon & Garfunkel song America, in which city do they board the Greyhound?
Los Angeles.
Incorrect. Toys and games. What country did Lego originate in?
Netherlands.
Denmark. Sequels and prequels. Who played Clarice Starling in Hannibal?
Man. Oh, man. I see her face, but I can't remember her name.
She's one of those
I don't know.
Okay.
Yep.
And this week in pop culture history, August 13th, 2017 marks the one-year anniversary of the passing of which Star Wars actor?
Wow, I'm gonna get so much flack for this. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's time then. 3 minutes 39 seconds, and you have 1, 2, 3 correct, which isn't bad.
Oh my gosh.
That's not bad. That's Asdruval's lost to worse than that. So
I know.
don't be nervous.
I'm disappointed is all.
All right, we'll get him out of the booth. Asdruval, how are you feeling?
Hello?
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 How are you feeling? You feeling confident?
I don't know, man. When Jay was picking, usually when people pick categories, they're all like, "Oh, well, I don't know," and Jay was like confident, and I'm all like, "Oh my gosh!"
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's just say I was confident.
Oh no!
Make sure I got all the
I
cards.
am no longer.
Okay. All right, Asdruval. I will start the timer here after I ask the first question.
Okay,
Are you ready to begin?
I am ready.
90s pop music. Justin Timberlake was a member of what 90s boy band before embarking on a solo career?
In sync.
Correct. Guns N' Roses. Who is the lead guitarist for Guns N' Roses?
Slash.
Correct. Song lyrics. In the Simon and Garfunkel song America, in which city do they board the Greyhound?
I don't know.
All right. Toys and games. In which country did Lego originate?
Denmark.
Correct. Sequels and prequels. Who played Clarice Starling in Hannibal?
Julianne Moore.
Correct. This week in pop culture history. August 13th, 2017 marks the 1-year anniversary of the passing of which Star Wars actor?
David Prowse?
Incorrect. Tarantino movies. In Inglourious Bastards, what name is Sergeant Donnie Donowitz better known as?
The Bear Jew.
Correct. Reality TV. Which real-world star went on to become a WWE champion?
That's Mike Mizorani.
Correct. TV commercials. What candy is advertised in a series of celebrity-filled commercials with the tagline, "You're not you when you're hungry"?
Snickers.
Correct. And voice actors. Which emoji does Patrick Stewart voice in the Emoji Movie?
He voices Poop.
He is Poop. That is correct. Sir Patrick Stewart. All right, and that is Gabe. All right, Asdruval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 8 correct. Jay had a strong showing with 3, so Asdruval, your winning streak continues. Good job, guys. Jay, that was a good first showing.
Okay, so there was a poop. There was a poop emoji.
Yes.
And it's Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart, Knight of the Realm.
Wow, his career's really gone downhill.
Song lyrics. The city they boarded the Greyhound in, Pittsburgh. Come on, Asdruval.
Oh, come on.
You know how this game works. And this week in pop culture, the Star Wars actor, Kenny Baker, R2-D2.
Oh, Kenny Baker.
Yeah, David Prowse still alive.
He's still alive.
Way off.
Huh?
And Princess Leia died, I think, like in December.
So it hasn't
hey,
quite
time
been a
flies
year
when you're having fun, all right?
Well, I just remember because she came out right after Rogue One came out. It was like the day after.
Yeah.
So I went and saw Rogue One, and she'd already passed away, and that made that last scene really uncomfortable. So, all right, well, good showing, guys. Again, Jay, you'll have to come back. I think you're the contestant so far that we've had, I think, that seemed the most confident. Seems like you can definitely give. I think I'm always hesitant to go. My thing is movie trivia. I think that's Asdruval's too. I don't want to go too heavy on it because I want to be fair to everybody. But I think next time we have you on, we make it all movie trivia and level the playing field a little bit. So that's next time we have you on, Jay. We'll do a special all movie Stump the Chump. See how that goes.
That sounds awesome.
All right, what do you think about that, Asdruval?
Okay, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Just as long as it's not too obscure.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I did horribly today, so.
No, that's all right. Like I said, that's 3 is. I mean, you got to come back and kind of, you're just getting used to it. Asdruval does this every week. He's an old pro. He's a veteran. All right, guys. Thanks so much again for joining me today. Before we go, Jay, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Anything you'd like to let people know about before we go off the air?
No, Throat Punch lunch every other Wednesday, and check out my Facebook page, Pique Your Interest, Half Handicapped on Twitter and Instagram, and Pique Your Interest on YouTube.
Awesome. Links for all that in the description. Asdruval, how about you?
Just that I'll be at Gen Con this coming week at the Restoration Games booth. Stop off and say hello. You can catch me every other Thursday on Board Game Blender. I do the retro board game segment, and that's all I got going on.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Asdruval, I'm looking forward to our next show. We'll do a Gen Con wrap-up. Talk to you, maybe some other folks who were there, how everything went. And in the meantime, if you liked the show, click the thumbs up button, leave a comment, tell us what you thought, your ideas on everything Jay was talking about. But until next time, thanks for watching. Have fun out there.
Good night, everybody.
Have fun, everybody.